friends, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about predefined functional interface in Java 8. So without any delay, let's get started. So when we talk about predefined functional interface in Java, so these are the functional interface in Java 8. So predicate, function, consumer, supplier, unary operator, and binary operator. Let's go one by one. First, we'll talk about predicate functional interface. So this functional interface moreover used for logical operation. So based on the input, so we'll check whether the condition, a logical condition like true or false. If that's a scenario where you need to check like some equals, you are expecting some Boolean result, then we recommend to use this predicate functional interface. So predicate functional interface accepts one input argument and perform the logical operation and it returns true or false. And predicate is part of Java8 function package. I'll show you more on working session at the end of this video. So we'll go with the theoretical flow. I will go to the next functional interface that is so before going to the next one, just I want to show you the syntax of predicate. So this is the predicate functional interface. We see this marked as functional interface and it has one method called test. So once we create the predicate and with the lambda expression, that whatever the logical expression that we intend to do, so if based on that we need to perform some test. So we need to use the method called test. So based on this test and apply the input, and this will give a result. Let's move on to the next functional interface, that is function. So basically function is having like providing input type and return type in the function interface. So if you want to perform some logic where you want to do concatenate or you want to uh, find some length of the string or some kind of logic where it returns some object. So that scenario we can go with this functional functional interface. It accepts one input type and return as a different input or based on the requirement. It has basically two argument type, one for input, one for return. So this also I can show you more on the working session. So now we'll go to the next functional interface. The next one is consumer functional interface. So this will accept input, but it doesn't return any return values. Uh, so the scenario where you want to print some data in the console. So just you need to pass some value and do some printing kind of stuff. Then the consumer function type is more suitable for that. So this is also part of Java8 function package. So this also I can demo it in the session. Okay, the next part is supplier functional interface. So supplier functional interface is it's a type of functional interface and it is defined in the Java8 function package, and it doesn't accept any input, but it produces some return value. So this also I can show it in the working session so that you'll get more idea and get clear on this supplier functional interface. So here this is a tabular where we are seeing a difference. I mean, for each, what is the behavior, right? This is a comparison table. So for predicate, whenever there is a requirement to perform some conditional check, we would choose predicate, right? As I told you, right? Some kind of logical operation that need to be performed, then predicate will be the suitable functional interface. And function, as I told you, right, it accepts two uh, type of object types. Basically, one will be the input, another type will be the return value object type. So whenever there is a requirement to perform certain operation and return some result, we should choose this function. And the consumer, as I told you, it accepts the input, but it doesn't produce any output, right? Whenever there is a requirement to consume some input and perform some action that doesn't return any value, we would we should choose this consumer functional interface. And the last, supplier. So whenever there is a requirement to perform certain operation but doesn't return, does not want to take any input, then we should choose supply. And the second comparison, it can take only one type parameter which will serve as an input parameter. As I told you, right? It accepts only one input parameter, and based on that, it will perform the logical operation and returns the Boolean value. For function, it can take two parameters, out of which one will be the input parameter and the second will be the return type. So if you see this functional and T is your input, or will be your return object. Okay. And consumer, it can take only one type parameter which will serve as an input parameter. If you see the consumer T, so we are providing input, but we're not expecting any output. It doesn't return any output. And the third one, it cannot take any parameter as an input, right? So, but it supplies some value, that is supplier or return type. So for predicate, we have abstract method called test, function apply, and consumer we have accept, supplier we have get. And this has a return type as Boolean. This can be returned any type. This return type is void, so we don't have any return value. And this can be any type. And default methods are negate and or for this, and then compose, and then, and for supply we don't have any default methods. For static predicate we have is equal, function we have identity. Identity basically it returns what exactly the object element contains, right? And the non-state method, no, we don't have any static in consumer and supply. So far, we covered all four functional interface. Let's see what is next. So urinary operator interface. It basically is urinary operator is a type of functional interface, the child of functional interface. Function interface. It's a child of function interface defined in the Java8 function package. This is accepts a single argument, operated and produce the same. It will not change anything. If I pass as a string as an input, then you are expecting the output is also string. Okay, that is what the urinary operator. This also I'll try to give some working session around urinary operator. Let's see, catch in that working session. And the last one is binary operator interface. So this is something is a bio interface child of by function interface. This function binary operator is a type of functional interface. Is a part of it will function. It takes two arguments as an input, okay, and operate it and produce it as the same type of value. But in previous urinary, I told you one input, and this accepts you two input. But in function, we accept only one input, 1 hour return value. But here it accept two input and give the same type of result. I mean object type. That's what the binary operator interface will do. So we done with the theoretical. Now we'll go with the some working session, right? Let me bring the IDE first. Okay, so this I have already coded. So let me start with the predicate. So predicate has only this one input argument, like a parameter. So I'm passing the string as my input, and I'm doing the logical operation whether the given string has contains the m, so that it returns my boolean. So let me run it. So already I've executed this program. I could see it's false, right? Let me change it back to m, uppercase. Expected should be true, right? Yeah, true. And the next one, function interface. So the function interface has two parameter, one for input, one for output. For example, input I am passing as a string, and accepting the return type is string. So this is your input type and this is your output type. And here we need to use apply method where you are passing the name and return the name. So basically what I'm trying to do, concatenating with one other string, and I'm expecting Mr. Magesh. It's coming correctly. And the consumer, we have one parameter that is the input parameter, and this is my input parameter. And just I'm doing the display because it's a void, it doesn't have any return uh, value for this function interface. So it is printing hello Java8. It's correct. And the fourth one, supplier. So supplier function interface, I don't want to provide any input, but I want to produce some return value. So that return value type is state. So what I'm trying to do, I'm just creating some object based on this lambda expression, and trying to get the object using get method. So that is also working. So this is very simple demo code. Just want to try to understand. So just do more exercise to understand in depth. Do some more complex logic so that you'll understand better. So this demo will give you some kickstart of what is functional interface and how to use these predefined functional interfaces. So I hope this video helps you to understand this predefined functional interface. Yeah, I'll catch you in the next